Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Lysty Trail Riders Racecraft videos. And this week we're going to look at training. It's going to be a fairly basic outline. I know some of you probably have trained for years and know far more than I do. You know what works for you, you know how to fit it into your life, you know how to get faster and stronger. This is not for you. This is probably for those who are just dipping their toes into structured training and maybe just want a little bit of guidance, a bit of an introduction. So I reckon there are probably 5 guidelines we need to think about when we're setting up a training program for ourselves. The training should have some stimulus. It should incorporate rest days. It should incorporate rest weeks. And it should probably incorporate an off season. The training that you do should be consistent. The training should fit in with your life. And the training that you do should be appropriate to the event or the events that you're planning on doing. So before we dig into that, there are countless companies that will happily take your money and set up a training plan for you. There's a few of them on the screen here. So Zwift, Trainer Road, Wahoo, Join, that's 4 companies that you can Google. Monthly subscriptions, apps, and it will set out a training program for you. You just jump on your bike and you do it. In the case of Zwift, it's mainly virtual. You've probably heard of Zwift. Your cartoon animated bike riding around fictitious land at certain powers, and you can go up hills and you can draft and you can do races and all sorts of things. Some of the apps, you can download them to your computer, your bike computer, and you can go off and do them outside. You don't have to be stuck in the bedroom doing them. But most of them are set up with the concept of having your bike attached to a trainer, an electrical trainer, which records your power, it records your cadence. If you've got a heart rate monitor, it will record your heart rate. And they generally will adapt the training. So if you do pretty well on a training session and you suggest that it was easy or medium, the computer will have the sense to up the difficulty of training for your next session. But they all cost money. You need an electrical trainer, you need to have your bike indoors, etc., etc. If you're going to go down that road, fantastic. There's plenty of them to Google. But if you just want to get outdoors and do a bit of training at Lysty and have an idea what to look for, then I hope this will be of assistance. So looking at that first guideline, training should have stimulus. Whatever training you do, if you're going to do structured hill reps, or you're going to go on a hard 20-minute ride, or you're going to work on long hill climbs, the training needs to work the muscles. It needs to work the heart and the lungs if it's going to have a positive impact. Going out for a half an hour gentle ride with the dog, with the kids, with your partner is not training. It's probably not going to have much of a stimulus. It's not a bad rest day, but it's probably not a session that will improve your fitness. So because of that, some sessions will be uncomfortable. You are going to need to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and it's going to feel uncomfortable for a certain period of time. It should never hurt. If training is genuinely hurting you and you really don't look forward to doing it, then A, you're probably not going to do it, and B, you're probably going too hard, or you maybe haven't been fitted to your bike effectively, or you're just pushing way too hard for the ability that you have at the moment. So the days of no pain, no gain are behind us. We don't need to finish every training session crippled and bent over and unable to go to work in the morning. But they should be uncomfortable. And your week should really consist of hard sessions, and those, we'll talk about what hard sessions look like. It might be a hill rep, it could be sprints, it could be cardio work, but it should also, really importantly, consist of easy days. And those easy days might be a long, steady ride for a couple of hours, just getting out there, just working steadily. There might be some skill sessions. You might be working on track stands, you might be working on drops, you might be working on jumps. And the easy days might be going for a ride with the kids on a Lysty Trailblazers ride. And we need to intersperse those hard sessions and easy sessions so that our body gets a chance to recover and recuperate before we do a hard session again. So you wouldn't go Monday, Tuesday, hard, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, easy. It would make sense to do a hard session, easy session, rest day maybe, hard session, easy session, and so on. So talking about rest days, looking at our second guideline, you need to think about what your training week is going to look like. So what is going to work for you? For most people, Tuesday, Thursday during the week is their hard sessions. Monday, Friday would work equally well. Monday, Wednesday would work equally well. Generally, you want a bit of a gap in between them to allow your body to recover. And Saturday or Sunday, you go for your easy ride. So that's a simple 3-session week, and you just repeat. You would go harder, obviously, on the hard sessions as you go through your training plan, but your easy ride is always generally that. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe more if you wanted, with the kids, with your partner, by yourself, whatever. Just a nice, steady, easy ride. But every 3 or 4 weeks, you probably want to have a week where it's all easy rides. So that's your rest week. So as we get a bit older, I'm over 50 now, so I have a rest week every 3 weeks. I used to be every 4 weeks or every 5 weeks when I was younger. But I find now my body needs a bit more time to recover. It gets tired a bit quicker than it used to. So every 3 weeks, I down tools. There's no hard sessions that week. It's just 3 or 4 easy rides a week. And then every 3 or 6 months, or after your main event, once your main event has finished, take a few weeks off from structured training and just ride for fun. Just ride with the kids, ride with your mates, ride with the Lysty chicks or the Trailblazers or the Sunday social ride, and just have fun on the bike. Just forget about structured training for a little while. Really importantly, consistency is key. There's no point starting a training session, managing to knock out 4 sessions that week, and then it all crumbles because you can't fit any more training in around kids or around your partner or around work or around meetings or whatever it is. You've got to be consistent. So, what is going to work for you week in, week out? Are you going to be out there before work, before school? Is it going to be after work? Is it going to be in your lunch hour? We're not Olympic athletes, and we don't pretend to be. And we've got partners, we've got friends, we've got kids, we've got parents, we've got work, we've got school. And we need to consider and we need to respect those variables. So it's maybe having a discussion with your partner or your kids about, this is what I want to do. I want to train 3 or 4 days a week. What's going to work for us? How can I still contribute to the family and to work and to us as a family unit that still allows me to go and train? So really important to have those discussions, I think, before we even embark on a training session. Whatever training you do, it needs to be appropriate to your event. So if your target events are going to be 1 hour Friday loops once a month, your training needs to revolve around that. You probably don't need to do 6-hour rides to train for a 1 hour race. You probably don't need to be doing 50 hill reps in a session for a 1 hour race. You probably don't need to be training 7 days a week or 6 days a week for a 1 hour race. If you're thinking of doing events that are much, much longer, so 50, 100, 150, 200k rides, you probably need to work on your endurance. Be able to sit in the saddle for 3, 4, 10, 24 hours, maybe. That might be a focus. If you're training for an event that's got a lot of elevation, So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 meters of climbing. Climbing is going to be a focus of your training. Long climbs, short climbs, being in the saddle, pumping out watts for 45 minutes, an hour till you get to the top of that climb. If your event is really technical, so maybe a technical downhill or a technical cross country, there might be areas there that you really need to focus on. Drops, jumps, boulder rolls, track stands. There might be lots of things, switchbacks, that you need to train and focus on. So once we've decided all that, what's going to work for our family and our friends and our kids and our work, and we know what event we're aiming for, and we know how many days a week we're going to do it, we need to think about what a session looks like. So just to go back to the beginning, where I said there are countless companies that will happily take your money and create a training program for you. That is mainly indoor training, which is great. Absolutely, you get fantastic bang for your buck indoors. But I'll assume that we are not going down that road. We're not using an app, or we're not using an indoor trainer. So you're going to do all your sessions outdoors. Nothing wrong with that at all. As long as you're prepared to get wet and cold some days, nothing wrong with that at all. So as an example, I'd probably do a 20-minute warm-up, and as a loop suggested there, starting at the top car park, do a bit of comm games, come back, drop as you come out of comm games and onto the fire trail, straight across, back down into comm games again, so a real shortened loop. That's got a few little hills, a few little climbs. It's going to get your heart rate up, and 20 minutes or so, a couple of Ks, job done. My main session might be 4, 6, 8. If I was just starting training, I'd probably aim for maybe 4. If I was getting a bit more experienced, I'd maybe aim for 6 or 8. Hill reps of Glen Track. So just where Red Gum intersects with Glen Track and you go on to comm games there's a pretty good hill. Probably takes about 2 to 4 minutes, probably, depending on your fitness and whether you've got an e-bike, I suppose, to get up that hill. So you might focus on a seated climb. You might focus on a standing climb. You might focus on going absolutely max heart rate, sprinting up that hill. And you might do that 4 times. And then in a couple of weeks' time, you might do it 5 times. In a few weeks' time, you might do it 6 times, and so on. And I would go hard up that hill, and then I would just maybe take a breath up the top, have a drink of water, roll back down, have a couple of minutes just to compose myself, and then go again. And repeat. And then a gentle 10 or 20 minute ride just to cool down, back to the car, bike in the car, job done. So that's pretty much training. There are countless books, there are countless videos, countless YouTube videos, countless coaches, software, all sorts of stuff out there about training. People who know far, far more than I do. We will probably come back to training at some point, and maybe focus on some different sessions and have a look at different sessions that you could do at Lysty. But that's a brief outline. I hope that's helped. I'll see you next week.